morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Hot Topics.
Hey, I like your elf hat.
Thank you. Today I'm an elf. Last time I was just at a Santa hat, but went all out for everyone today because it's almost Christmas Eve.
And the people who have kids, so if there's any kids that are listening, tell them to go away. But there's a lot of people who are moving the elf on the shelf.
Yes.
Did you get into that?
That's me.
You're the elf on the shelf.
And if you really want to find out if you have been naughty or nice and if you're the elf on the shelf, then go to do our quiz, our naughty or nice quiz. And it's you just have to go to blametheelf.com. That's why I got the elf hat on. Work with me, people. Come on, let's go.
Well, spoiler alert, you were on the naughty list.
I was.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I was on the naughty list. Yep. If you guys joined us last Hot Topics, you will know that I'm trying to now be on the nice list, which is why I'm wearing this hat, telling everyone to do the quiz, telling everyone to be nice. I'm doing the Christmas spirit. I have my Christmas tree up. I have 2 Christmas trees up.
I'm sort of thinking back to, do you remember like way back, like you get the dunce cap?
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling. It's like you're on the naughty list, you have to wear the elf hat.
Yeah. And then last week I did have a Santa hat on, but that was, Santa probably got mad at me and said, go get the dunce cap. I like this one though. I got one for you too, Stacy. So when you come up.
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm glad you think of me. I don't think I'm going to put the elf hat on.
No. So how's everything going with you?
It's going good. I'm finding this week a little bit busier. I have a few friends that, because of this silly, I don't want to call it silly, but it is stupid Omicron variant that we have with COVID. I have a few friends that are in quarantine or who have to self-isolate. So I'm getting messages saying, can you go to the store for me? So yesterday I went shopping for her in a store for her kids, and it was a candy store, which was a lot of fun, by the way. Oh. But it was kind of interesting because we used to do it through FaceTime. Right. So I just literally held my phone to the girl at the counter, but then I could show her things like, here's what they have available. Because sometimes, I will admit, sometimes it's hard to shop at local, because she wanted to support local, and this was just a small independent shop, and they're not set up to do things online. No. Right? Like that you couldn't call, like it would be very difficult to sort of make that phone call to say, can you ship it? And they didn't have their availability because they make them right there on site of what would be available. So I went down to the store and I showed her. That's nice of you. The counter and stuff like that. But yeah, I had to get a few things for my family and as well. And I may have snuck one in for me as well, because as much as we think about other people, we do also have to think about how we treat ourselves. It's true. We forget that. Yep. Right? Because we focus so much this time of year, but I think it's okay to buy gifts for ourselves. Well, that's the only person that usually buys gifts for me. But I also think it's okay to treat ourselves, because I'm like, I'm not going into a candy store. No. And not buying something for myself. Of course not. I draw the line. I'm not, the people that, I don't eat sugar are the same people that don't eat bread. I eat both. I like bread. I like sugar. I like lots of things. I just don't eat, gallons and buckets and loaves of this stuff. But I mean, nothing wrong with a candy store. Exactly. There's lots of candy canes and lots of elf chocolates. Candy canes. That's what I need. I don't have any candy canes on my tree. Candy canes. Mm-hmm. Candy canes are awesome. I don't really like some of that hard candy, but I do like it this time of year. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you're ready for Christmas. So you got your tree up, both places. Both places got the trees up. We're still doing a lot of last minute stuff. And, I think for most of us that are in the same boat in North America and anywhere in the world, really, we don't really know what Christmas is going to look like, because, one day somebody's coming, next day they have to isolate, one day, they're coming, next day they're too afraid to come, they're waiting for their booster. There's just like everything changes. So I just kind of figure, well, you know what, I'm not planning too much. I have food and we'll cook whatever depending on who shows up. Well, you know what? And I think that's really is the way things are going this year is
Yeah.
the entire world. I mean, 2020 was all about pivoting.
Yeah.
I feel 2021 is all about flexibility.
Yeah.
Like we really do need to be flexible around what other people want, their expectations, because
Yeah. And
unfortunately things change really quickly.
and I think, the only thing also not just flexibility, but I think you have to be considerate. So if somebody has a different opinion than you, just like let them have their opinion. So if they're not comfortable, we're talking about, immediate family, if they're not comfortable to come to Christmas, then don't come to Christmas, and understand that there's nothing wrong with them saying they're not comfortable.
Exactly.
Right? Because everyone has their own level of comfort in this whole craziness. And no one, I'm not going to say, I'm right or anyone else is right. Nobody really knows.
Nobody knows.
So, just leave everybody be. And, if I'm comfortable enough to have somebody over and they want to come, cool. If not, that's okay too. And I know it's hard for a lot of people because they're like, well, I wanted my kids to have this big Christmas that, I always grew up having. And, sure, but that's not their reality.
Right.
So you have to go with the reality of the situation. So why would you, risk someone getting sick, right? If you don't have to, because if you are really one of those people that say, oh, I really want to see all my family. Well, you can see all your family in a couple of months. Have a big party, right?
Absolutely. And I was supposed to go out east for Christmas this year. And because of everything that's going on, my flight is now canceled. But I told my mom, I said, you know what? Leave the tree up. It's beautiful. Christmas trees are beautiful. I said, so leave it up for a couple of months. And when we can figure it out, who says we can't have Christmas in March?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Who's making the rules that says you have to take your Christmas tree down in January? And who says we can't do Christmas in whatever month?
And you know what? I will tell you, up until last year, Christmas was weird. We all know that because it was COVID. But up until then, I used to always like everybody be in a mad dash for all of December, trying to get everything done, organize, get the tree up, do all this. And then literally by Boxing Day, I'm in Canada in case anyone doesn't understand what Boxing Day is. By Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas, I was like, okay, get the tree down because I was so tired. And this year I'm like, this is cool. Tree can stay up. There's nothing in me that says, I'm in a hurry to do anything. So if it means, leaving it up, leave it up. And, we have our New Year's challenge coming up, right, on January 3rd. And cool. Everyone who's in the challenge, let's see the Christmas tree behind you on January 3rd.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no reason. I just feel like we're so everyone's so quick to start the holidays, and they're equally as quick to stop the holidays. Yeah. Which I find very interesting.
A lot of it had to do with the fact that there is so much pressure because you're, with all the family and all that stuff. And so you shouldn't have any of that pressure this year, most of us. I don't know. I mean, we're supposed to be in Ontario. It's down to 10, right? 10 indoor gathering. Mm-hmm. So if you have actually 10 people that no one has to self-isolate, which is very rare. But 10. So 10's manageable, and that's cool. So don't even, you don't have to go through all the stress of having a ridiculous amount of people over, and it's okay. And you know what? Just order pizza.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. So have you ever done a vision board?
You know what? I have not.
Really?
I have not. I was never a big person on. I'm a big planner, as you know. I'm a big, that's what the challenge was all about. But I also know that there's so many people like you that love to be able to visualize. I visualize in my head, but I don't really look at a wall map. Let's put it that way. But you do, and you've taught it.
Love vision boards.
Yes, you do.
I do. I am a completely visual person. I remember one year, I loved my vision board. It was so because this girl, so we did it as a workshop, and this girl brought these pretty ribbons. And like it was beautiful. Like
Yeah.
I put it up, I think it was there for 2 years just because I loved my vision board. And I believe in it, but I like to have things out in the open. I like to have there's certain things. I know we sort of had this conversation last week about planners, and I do like to write, and I am moving to sort of a physical planner to a digital planner, but I've been able to work that into my world. So I have the app right there. I know I can open it and see what I've written or scribbled and get things done. But with a vision board, it can't be hidden.
Right.
Like the whole concept of a vision board is that you see it every day. It's in your like I'm pointing over there, like you can see it.
Yeah.
It's like on your wall, you see it and it gets into your subconscious. So it does need to be sort of this bigger physical thing as part of what you want to accomplish. So what we're doing with the because they agree, because I knew she wasn't a big vision board person, but I think we convinced her to bring this as part of the New Year challenge. So I think we kind of talked last week about how the challenge has grown over the years.
Right. And every year we add something.
Every year we add something. So this year.
And I will say, I mean, it is true. We've been asked a lot because a lot of people finish the challenge and they go, well, how do I put this on my vision board?
Right.
And up until now, we haven't really included it. And that's mainly my fault, right? But Stacy has taught this. Stacy and Linda Stanko, who is part of Mastermind City, as well as our communications director, they've taught these in workshops, in big workshops in the past, both physical and online. And so as long as they're willing to run it, I just thought, what a great, you were right. Like, what a great addition to actually take what you've done in the New Year challenge and now really bump it up by visually, putting it up there in front of you. I think it's fantastic. And so it is now incorporated in our challenge. So how's it going to work, Stacy, basically?
So basically you're going to go, so the challenge runs from January 3rd to the 7th. So there's your 5 days. So we give you a few extra days to finish things up, because I think it's important to go through the challenge first.
Yes.
Like we sort of had the conversation of when did we want to do this vision board. It was really important to do it at the end, because the challenge takes you through, like we've said before, all from the rewind to looking back to looking forward to knowing what you want, focusing, how you organize things, et cetera, et cetera. So you really, by the end of this 5 days, you're also going to have that 1-page business plan. So you're really going to know where you want to focus your time, what your goals are for your business for the upcoming year. So now we can, like you said, we can take it one step further. We did have a conversation about perhaps doing it online and do it digitally, but we thought, you know what, it's really important to have that physical board. So we're going to do a 2-hour workshop. You know, on January the 12th, you're gonna have an option to be able to do it in the morning or the afternoon or both. If you haven't done it in the morning, you can continue in the afternoon. Might need both, but it's going to be physically, we're going to do it over Zoom. So you're going to have your space. We're going to give you a list of items to bring with you, and literally taking those goals, that vision, that thing that you see for your business. We're actually going to walk you through and how to actually put that all into a board so that you can create it, put it up in your office so that you have it to look at every day.
That's awesome.
And it doesn't have to be pretty. Mine just 1 year. Other years I've liked them, but I just remember this 1 year was just a beautiful board because I've never created anything. I'm not a big crafty person.
Yes.
So.
Wow. So, and how much is this going to cost, Stacy?
The challenge or the workshop?
Well, this new workshop.
Well, it's included in the challenge.
Yay!
For those coming to the challenge.
It's included. So it's included if you do the challenge, and the challenge is only $27.
Yeah, well, which is interesting because like we've done vision board workshops, we've actually charged more. So we thought, because it's such an important piece, that we're actually going to put it into the challenge. So the challenge is only $27 and you get the workshop too. So like that's a no-brainer.
And just so everyone understands, like when we've done the challenge in the past, a long time ago, we did it for free 1 year and we did it for $7. And what we realized that is if you're, there has to be an exchange of energy, right? So if you're willing to put $27 down, you are going to actually put some work and effort because you feel like you've put some money out. So you want to get the most back. I would have to say, and this is the truth, I mean, a program like this, the volume of stuff that's in it if you actually went out and buy it, it would probably be like more like $900 because there's so much in this, but this is what's going to set you up for the year. So,
which is cool.
$27, if you should be able to gift yourself that. And you don't like, for some people, they might just say, I just want the vision workshop and I'll pay $27, right? Or I don't want the workshop.
But I think it's still important. I think, again, going back to, we need to treat ourselves.
Yeah.
We need to, whether you go into a chocolate store, but this is for your business. Think of this as a gift for your business to really get organized for the year.
Yeah. And I was, so just so you guys know, I mean, I said I always buy my own stuff there, and we constantly buying software and programs because we're always checking out what the latest and greatest is. And I was on the fence about, I haven't bought it yet, but I'm going to buy it, I think, tonight. I was on a fence about a program. I've told Stacy about it, but I was on the fence, and then there was, it wasn't very expensive. It was only a couple $100. And I'm thinking, you know what? I think I'm going to gift it to myself. And that's my Christmas gift, because do I need it? I think, do I absolutely need it to change my business? No, not at all. Do I want it because I know it'll make me better? It'll make my personal development. And when you do more personal development on your own, it affects your business. So, so you have to really look at things and go, yeah, you know what, is this going to be good? Because some people will say, I only want a program that's strictly business, or I only want, you know what I mean? But personal development is a big deal. Mm-hmm. So whether it's, the nice thing about the challenge is that you're not only laying out your business for the new year, but you're really diving in deep to understand why you didn't complete or why you didn't do stuff last year, and you're ready to go this year. So I think, whether you look at it as business or personal development, either way, it's a great opportunity for you to move forward in a different way for 2022. And maybe this is finally the year we're going to get rid of all this mess of COVID and everything else. And you want to be ready.
Absolutely. And I don't even know when I saw it, but I was listening to a podcast, I was watching a video, something on the fact that so many people this time of year, or especially, and going into January, just read a lot of books. Like they get some personal development books for Christmas, and they read the book and they're excited, and, or they watch a video, or they listen to a podcast, or whatever your source of consuming information is. And then they stop. Yeah. That's the biggest hiccup. And this, I can't remember what it was. I don't remember if it was a video or podcast or whatever, was talking about the fact that you have to take that next step. Like, it's great to have knowledge. It's great. It's great to read books. It's great to do challenges. It's great to figure out whether you're on the naughty or nice list. It's great to blame the elf. It's great to know all of that stuff. But if you don't take it to the next level and actually do something, I think that's one of the things I like about this challenge, is the fact that we're really focused on action. Because again, you can read a book, and we're going to be starting up a book club in the new year. We're just kind of ironing out some of the details about that. But the same thing, like if we got a book, you read the book, and then it goes on your pretty shelf and you never look at it again. Kind of like if you create your plan and you don't actually implement it, or you do the vision board and you tuck it in your closet, all of those, you might as well not do it at all, because you need to take action on it. So the vision board needs to go on your wall. The book needs to be discussed, and how are you going to actually take the lessons from the book and implement them into your business to grow. Personal development's the same way. So it was all about sort of taking it to that next level, which I related to, because I feel like we preach that all the time. So
I mean, part of the challenge, the significant part of the challenge is that we added in the component that every single day we're live taking a Q&A with you guys, so that if you're stuck or you just want to be motivated to talk to somebody, then we're there for you each and every day, that entire week from January 3rd to the 7th, right? So, and if you can, anytime you can get live feedback or live involvement, you will more than likely finish what you're doing, right? Exactly. But we have a tendency of a lot of us buy a program and then we go, oh, okay, well, I'll get around to it eventually, and we never do it. But when there's a live component to it, you are more apt to complete it, which really, I mean, think about it. By January 7th, you can have your whole year lined up. And then by the 12th, you can have it pretty on your wall.
Or not pretty. It doesn't have to be pretty. It has to be you. And I think I think that's one thing that I'm liking. We've done them in the past, we've done them together, and I feel like there's a little bit of keeping up with the Joneses.
Yes.
Right? Like you're looking at somebody else's board and it's like, oh, mine's not, oh, I didn't think, oh, you know what I mean? And it just becomes somebody else's vision, or you're judging your board because somebody else is crafty.
Yeah.
So actually what I like this year is that, yes, we're going to show them for sure if you feel comfortable, but you don't have to, but it's your own. You're not comparing yourself to others. You're putting this on your vision board that makes sense for you and your business. And it really should be. It's a guided process, but it really should be your own. And that's what the challenge is for, right? It's your own goals, your own business, your own motivation.
Yeah, and they're different for everybody. And there's nothing wrong. And so again, as Stacy said, you have the ability to do your own stuff. And if you want to share, cool. And if you want to just peek at somebody else's, cool too. Whatever, right? We're being flexible and considerate and doing everything we need to do this year to make sure we get through the challenges that we've faced.
Yeah, it's funny to see some cartoons and memes about 2022. People are like creeping in now because we were like ready to get out of 2020 into 2021, and now we're like,
exactly,
we're not like rushing in there yet.
No, and I think, I mean, everyone's a little different. There are people out there just like nothing's wrong, which is, again, your personal preference on how you want to do things. Exactly. But for most of us, we're kind of slowly creeping in and going, okay, I think we're okay, but let me make sure that I'm ready to go. And that involves everything. So I think, especially for those businesses, if you've been one of those businesses that have been highly affected, right? So if you have a business that has really suffered, rather than just give up and say, I'll never make it back, take the time, do our challenge or do some other one, but take the time to really dig down and go, okay, how can I get back to where I was and make it even better based on the information, the new knowledge I know in this new world. So there is a way to get back, because there are businesses that are flourishing, right? And I know some of them are very, very challenged, but there is always a way. If you take the time to reflect, if you do not take the time to see what went on and what the possibilities could be, then you will fail. But you need to make sure you understand that it's very, very important that you actually go, okay, I think I can get out of this. Let me figure out how.
Well, and I think what's really exciting, I'm actually looking forward to you and I doing the look back. And because we didn't do that last year, and there was a lot of stuff that we did really well, but you know what? There were some failures.
There were some failures. And I think a lot of those failures was because we didn't do all our steps that we should have.
Yeah, exactly. So this is going, and like we said before, we're doing the challenge along with you. So I'm looking forward to that piece of, this is where we're at. This is the things that we learned, because people have been following us and, along the way, and have joined different things and different initiatives that we've put out. And some of them have been really successful, like Gia. That was a great one. We didn't do that this year. We started it in 2020. But there were things that we did in 2021 that were not successful. And that's with any business.
And we're going to talk about them. So if you're in the challenge with us, you get to come, backstage, behind the scenes. And we're going to, every single day when we're doing our homework, we're going to share with you on the live Q&As what our answers are. What didn't we do right? What did, we just let slide, or we thought was successful, or what happened. I think our biggest thing, and I don't want to give too much away, but we implemented a lot, but we did so many things that we couldn't keep our eye on everything that we did.
Right.
It was humanly impossible. So, so rather than, stepping back and going, okay, let's only do 2 or 3 things, we were doing so many, because I think in fairness, we were trying to really motivate everyone in such a horrible year.
Yeah.
And we wanted to create levity and fun. And I think a lot of people were still afraid, and they weren't, necessarily going all the way to bright in terms of engaging. So, I think we miscalculated on some of the stuff, but then on the other things, they did better than we expected.
Exactly. Which is, so it's going to be interesting for us to kind of go back and, like,
and I can't wait to share. So if you guys are the kind of guys that like to learn from case studies. You learn from experience. You learn from finding out what other people did right or wrong. This is the year that you should join us in the challenge.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But on just a slight change of topic.
Yep.
And side note, I would like to share the beautiful, you can't see it, but what we accomplished last week. So as you know, Fay's at the farm and we did some, I don't know what word to use. We used a glue gun.
Yeah.
And I think the most interesting thing is that number one, you need to know who you're working with. So there's people that you can do things with, and there's people that you can't do things with.
Right.
And we were going to do this before, but we decided that we needed to do it when it's just the two of us.
Yep.
And we basically took a rope and we wrapped these posts.
Right.
And although it sounded like and it was a great idea.
Fantastic.
It looks fantastic. But I think what surprised me was the length of time it took.
We miscalculated.
A lot.
Yeah.
But it was still fun. We did it. It was monotonous. It was tedious. But we did it and we talked while we were doing it and it was all good. It went fast.
Yeah.
Like that's the difference is that I didn't feel like it was like, oh my God, we're never going to get it.
It went fast. It was 4 hours, but it went fast.
Yeah. It was like, how is it 1 o'clock already? Our day's half done and we still have a list.
Yeah. We never got to a lot of it, but we'll show you our handiwork. Maybe we'll do it during the challenge. We'll give them some live updates. Maybe we could just show them around.
Yeah, exactly. Which will be kind of fun. So yeah, there was different things. So one of the funny parts, so that we got along really well. It was no problem. And then we moved to the next project, which was hanging hooks.
We're different.
We found out that we're very different. So there's two ways in which you can hang hooks. There's Fay's way and there's my way. These are two very polar opposite ways of doing things.
And it doesn't mean that anyone's right
or wrong. We're both, but there's two ways. So the first way, which is Fay's way, is you put the shelf up, eyeball it, looks good, screw, attach to the wall, you're done. Then there's my way. And my way
is a lot longer.
Where she was like, oh my God. I'm like, I have a measuring tape. I'm measuring both sides. I want to make sure it's in the middle. She was rolling her eyes and doing that then. I have a pencil. I'm marking spots. I'm measuring height, blah, 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 putting in different things. They look great. But I thought she was actually going to kill me at one point or hit me with a shelf.
I'm the same. I put up pictures. I eyeball things. I put up whatever I put. I'm just like, that looks straight. And then I put it up because I'm okay. Even if it's a little off, I'm okay. It's okay. It doesn't bother me. It bothers people like you. Right. And so like so you were not here, but the other day, Darren, Spencer's boyfriend, put a picture up on the wall because I needed to put a tree there. And so we need to put the picture up first. And it's a very big and heavy picture with two hooks, no wire or anything, just two hooks. So he did like 4 million measurements and pictures, mark this, did this. I mean, it was perfect, but I just was like, well, I saw on TikTok that you could just mark the two sides with some, it doesn't matter, lipstick, marker, whatever, put it against the wall. And then that's where you drill.
Yeah, I'm like Darren.
I loved that. I thought it was like the best little, hack ever. So I haven't tried it yet, but yeah. So, but the issue with is, which you guys would both hate, is you can put the picture like that, but then if it's not even, you're stuck with those two marks and that's where you're drilling. Right. But so what we do want to point out though, is we were completely different, but we just laughed the whole time and had fun. It didn't, nobody was mad at anything. So if you guys are, if you've got a married couple that think differently, I think when you're married, you have a tendency of getting more mad at each other on that stuff. We were just like laughing because it was fun. I didn't care. If Stacy wanted to take the time to measure, have at it. If she's interested in it, don't get mad at somebody. Say, cool, you want to do it, do it. I'm just not interested, right?
But the ironic part is that it would have been fine, except the walls are crooked.
The walls are all crooked.
So that defeated my purpose. But
Like
that's
my
okay.
hat. Like my dunce cap.
Your hat. Oh yes, you were like Elf on the Shelf. That's okay.
I love this hat. I feel like last year when I was wearing my Santa hat, I started wearing it out to the stores because I loved it. I think I might wear this grocery shopping. See
there you go. I think that's okay. I have a friend who wore, I think it was like pajama day at her school or something. So she wore this like one piece fuzzy, I don't know what animal it was. It might have been a sloth.
Yeah.
And she wore it to the liquor store. She wanted to go to the liquor store and pick something up on her way home. And she's like, well, I guess I'm going in this.
They all thought she'd already had the drinks. But
but you know what? She says everybody who was in that store went home with a story.
Yeah.
They all went to their significant other, their kids, their mothers, like whatever the case. It was like, I saw a sloth at the liquor store.
That's way better
so now
than
they're
my story. So I'm going to my story is back 100 years ago when I was a sales rep and I went into a drugstore that I was calling on. Not a nice neighborhood in the city at all. One of the worst. And someone was walking around. This guy was walking around with pajamas and he had blood on his blood stains all over his pajamas. So I said to the manager, I go, should you call someone? And he looked at me, goes, no, that's pretty normal here.
Okay. Great.
I like the sloth better.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone looked and they laughed or they smiled. And she goes, you know what? Like that kind of, so if you wore your elf hat into a store, the mall or anything like that, like you'd have a mask on, it would bring joy to people.
Okay. So I'm wearing it.
All right.
All right.
That's how we're bringing joy to people.
Okay. So I just want to thank everybody and to have a good holiday. I'm not going to thank you for the year because we still have another Hot Topics before the year ends.
Yes.
But wishing you a happy holiday, whatever your holiday is. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, you name it, whatever it is. Have a great one. And hopefully you will take some time to look after yourself and do some fun things for yourself as well.
Exactly. And we will see you